Devils, just another quiet Wednesday then, 26.5 years down the line. Sir Alex is leaving the club. We don't know yet at the time of recording who's succeeding him. We're going to debate that on this video. We had, by the way, filmed a preview of the Swansea game Tuesday night. I'm not sure we're going to bother putting it up. It seems a little bit meaningless, doesn't it? We've got four top Devils to talk about it, though. We've got Judy, we've got Justin, we've got Adam, and we've got Rebecca. And Adam, coming to you first, it seemed like, I guess to me, waking up in the morning and kind of finding out your living room had got a massive, great, giant hole down to the bottom of the earth in it. The whole world has changed. How was it for you?
I'm still devastated. It hasn't sunk in yet. I mean, it's one of those days you'll never forget. I mean, you know, 27 years. I've not known another manager. I'm 24 years old in a couple of weeks. I've not known another manager. So it's going to be a time of big change. And I think as a whole, we just need to be patient. But this next 2 weeks, while we still got the football campaign, I think we should celebrate what Sir Alex has done for us. Yeah,
no, definitely. Celebrations. That's why I wore the red top and not the black one today. Justin, what are your thoughts as well? Because 20th league title, you know, he's 70, 71. Does he deserve a rest, as my wife said? Is the timing about right?
Yeah, I suppose it is. I mean, I don't think anyone wanted him to leave. Like Adam said, it's not really sunk in yet. Last night it was like the opposite of Christmas Eve. I was going to bed hoping this morning that it wouldn't be true, that all the rumours were wrong. Yeah. And then when I woke up and realised he'd gone, it was just completely shocking. But, you know, if anyone deserves a rest, it's Ferguson after what he's done for this club.
Rebecca, do you reckon the signs were maybe there when you look back at the Champions League game against Real Madrid, too devastated to come out and talk to the media, and going for that points record seemed big on that for the first time?
I mean, to be honest, I'm waiting for the apologies on Twitter, because I predicted this after the Real Madrid defeat, and to be honest, I'm not that shocked. I'm devastated, and I feel like we're all about to make a huge leap into the unknown. But I'm not shocked, because when you looked at his response this season, all the way through to going out of the FA Cup, to going out especially of the Champions League, it was almost like it was all his last chance to do things, and for that reason, no, it's not come as a huge surprise. We all knew this day would come. You just wanted to push it back as far as you possibly could, really.
Yeah. Judy, we've got to celebrate what he's achieved: 13 league titles, a couple of European Cups, 4 League Cups, 5 FA Cups. But I suppose we've got to also think that, and accept maybe, that it's not going to be the same ever as a game, because whoever comes in can't do as good a job, can they, unless they sort of win back-to-back Champions Leagues or something.
I agree with what you said. I think currently, a lot of people are mourning, but I think we should more celebrate what he's done, kind of thing. It's unbelievable achievements. Yeah. And it won't be the same. It's regardless of who it is. He could get Mourinho and he could win the title in his first season, but he's just not Sir Alex Ferguson. I think that's going to be one of the major issues there as well, is that the comparison's always going to be there. Whoever it is never going to be Sir Alex Ferguson. So. Yeah.
And the next one seems to be the toughest job, doesn't it? You think the next guy after the first guy after Fergie might have it a bit better, Justin. But what do you think in terms of the pressure of him being a director? He's not going to do what Matt Busby did and have an office down the corridor from Wilf McGuinness, is he? Because that was a massive issue for years at the club. Yeah,
I think Busby sort of loomed large over Wilf McGuinness and the subsequent managers that took over, leading right up to Fergie. He is going to be a director, he's going to be an ambassador, which I think everyone would expect that. You wouldn't expect him to just walk away from the club. And I think we shouldn't look at it as a negative. I think it should be a plus that the manager does have Ferguson there to turn to if he does need him for anything, because no matter what manager comes in, he's not going to be used to managing Man United, one of, you know, arguably the biggest club in the world. So he is going to need that bit of help. If you know, and if he wants it, it'll be there for him.
It's going to be interesting, Adam, isn't it? The next manager, what next? Who, you know, if they come in, do they clear out the squad? Because Fergie's saying that squad's got a great balance, but he may not fancy them. Whoever does come in.
I mean, Ferguson has left a legacy at United, but not only for United, for the next manager. I mean, he's taken us from the cliff to Carrington. We've got the best facilities, training facilities. We've got one of the best stadiums in the world. And our squad at the moment is in one of the best positions it has been during Ferguson's era. I mean, you've got young players coming through like David De Gea, Rafael da Silva. Yeah. You've got Smalling, Jones, etc. Young talents, Welbeck as well, coming through. And then you've also got a mixture of like experienced players as well who still have their best years ahead of them. You've got some like Carrick, Rooney, Van Persie, etc. So the next manager has a very good squad to play with. They have everything there to be successful. So they don't need to go in there like thinking, doubting themselves. Obviously, they'll want to make their own changes. They want to make their imprint on the club, but there's not major changes that need to be made.
Let's talk hypothetically then, because as I say, the rumours at the moment are abound that 1 minute David Moyes is going to be the next boss, 1 minute Jose Mourinho. Moyes is going to watch Chelsea against Tottenham tonight. Rebecca, if I say David Moyes to you, what are your thoughts?
To be honest, when we've been talking about this in the past few years, I've always thought that David Moyes, I just don't think he's big enough to take the role of Sir Alex. It's all very well saying that he's going to have Sir Alex around, but it just strikes me of more of a Wilf McGuinness, Franco Farrell situation all over again.
Justin, it's got to be not winning anything. Surely you've not got that experience. Fergie, when he came there, had dominated Scotland and it sort of toppled Celtic and Rangers.
I think it's more the European experience. I think you've also got to look at the calibre of player that he's used to buying, as opposed to what will happen at United. Now, it may be that he grows into the role, and to be honest, in a way, David Moyes is the option that gives the most stability. He's another Scotsman.
I love that.
It's not
Scottish.
like going, we're not bringing the ego in, because it could be. I mean, to be honest, it's like two ends of a scale. You've got, is Moyes big enough in terms of charisma, in terms of a character, and is Mourinho almost too big and will make it all about him rather than about the club? So you're almost looking at two totally opposite ends of the scale there.
I mean, people mentioned Jurgen Klopp as well at Dortmund. Let's bring in Chudi quickly. And Chudi, that whole thing of not winning anything, never lifting a big-time trophy, that's got to be massive, isn't it, in terms of going to United?
Like, the name Moyes is quite underwhelming. And I think it says quite a bit that even Everton fans are sort of celebrating the fact that he'll be leaving. But in the same breath,
a few mates.
United, we've always loved an underdog kind of thing. If he could come in and just like keep the traditional going of winning stuff, because he's gonna have better resources and a better team as well, so you can't discount him. But I think his name just doesn't, like, with Sir Alex Ferguson, if you're trying to go and buy a top player, the name Alex Ferguson means that you're going to be in contention. I think.
Justin, what do you think? Because Mourinho's name obviously would, I guess, help with a top player, because he leaves clubs fast and furiously. But could this be the one where he settles?
You'd hope so, but again, I think the club or sources are saying that we're not looking for a quick fix. And with Mourinho, you always get the idea that he is a sort of manager that is a quick fix. It will come in, it'll win you trophies, he'll spend lots of money, but he won't stick around. Obviously, Moyes, as Rebecca was saying, is the other end of the scale. But I think you look at someone like Jurgen Klopp, who's a young manager, who's built an exciting team, a team that I love to watch play. He's doing well in Europe. He's sort of done well in Germany.
Against Bayern Munich as well. They're the big boys in Germany, aren't they?
Exactly. He's broke that with Bayern Munich, and he won back-to-back titles. And then he's sort of, we've seen what he can do in the Champions League. And he's a manager that I think, he sort of reminds me of Ferguson when he was younger. The way that Ferguson at Aberdeen was able to break the sort of Celtic Rangers dominance. Klopp's done that a little bit in Germany. And he's a manager that's sort of almost getting overlooked a little bit. But for me, he's almost a mix of Moyes and Mourinho. And he's someone that does excite me, and I think could do a job there.
Guys, quick thoughts, maybe a memory, something for you want to see on Sunday. We're talking about maybe signing up some of the legends, put Schmeichel in goal for the game against Swansea. It doesn't matter to anyone that match. What will you remember Fergie as, Adam, and what do you want to see on Sunday in terms of a tribute?
I think not just in a footballing sense. I think in a life sense. Like the best thing about Fergie for me has been his strength in adversity. When the chips are down and when everyone's writing him off, he's always rose to the challenge, and he's always succeeded. I think that's the main thing that sticks with me, that never die attitude. And no matter what walk of life you're in, if you have that attitude, you will be successful. And he's got that. He's not only a great football man, he's a great man. So that will always stick with me, his work ethic, and that never die attitude. He's given us so many great memories over the years that I'd be here all day reeling them off.
Yeah, relentless. It's going to be tear-filled, isn't it? My wife joked, said, you're not going to cry, but it's true. Sort of welled up.
I'm going to cry on Sunday.
I don't know what Sunday's going to be like. Rebecca, your abiding memories of Fergie, what you think is going to happen against Swansea?
I think it's going to be hugely emotional on Sunday. I think one thing that we can't negate what he's done is he's kept, in a world where football has become this huge modern day business, and you look at other clubs and they've gone totally away from their tradition. He's almost kept a link to making our great club still a traditionally historic great club. It's you go inside Carrington, it is a family club, and I hope that stays. I really do. It's a family club. Everybody looks out for everyone else, and personally, my abiding memory, and it's something that I'm very, very lucky to have had, and I don't play it down at all, was a period where I was responsible for writing his column for the magazine, and to be able to talk to him every month in his office, to be able to talk to him, every day in his office every month in his office for 45 minutes. You could never talk to anybody about football who knew about it more than that.
Judy, it's hard to top that, I suppose, unless you went to dinner every week at his house. But
no, I tried, didn't I? I went up in October to interview a couple of players, and I went, he walked past, and I think I had the option to interview on something like that, but I kind of froze, so I never got the chance to. Then I met him a couple of weeks after a Spurs reserve game, and I froze again, so I never really got my chance. But in terms of abiding memories of him, I just think it's the fact that purely and simply he was a winner. He never let nothing beat him. He never, if you could win the battle, but you'd never win the war. You just look at Liverpool, you look at City, you look at Chelsea, you look at Arsenal. No one ever beat him, and I think going out on top is a fitting tribute to a man that was so great.
Yeah, certainly so. And Justin, give you the final word. I guess it was kind of said like waking up a woman this morning or something, but you've got to look at the positives, look back, I guess, and look forward with a smile on our faces at the new world to come with what's been.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel incredibly lucky for all my adult life. Fergie's been the manager. Most of, when I started going to United, he just took over when I started going on my own, and we just enjoyed this unparalleled period of success. And my sort of favourite memory of him is, I think it was when we won his 12th title, and he just came over to the fans and he was like bowing down to the fans, and it just sort of shows you, the humility of the guy. Some managers go on about the CV, some managers call themselves the special one or whatever, but he just comes over and he celebrates the fans because he knows what it's like to be a football fan, and we're just incredibly lucky to have had him as our manager for so long.
Well said, all of you guys. Relentless, wasn't he, Fergie? Devils, by the way, if you're watching this, if you're new to it, want to hear from you, of course, on the successor, on your Fergie memories and what he's meant to you, being part of all of our lives for so long. You have to subscribe to do that, put your comments below. Stay tuned on the channel for more updates, more Fergie chat, more United chat. We'll see you soon.
United fans, you know what to do. Click the button and subscribe to get involved.